This topic became relevant only in the last few years, which is, of course, connected with the release and continuation of the successful and popular project called Peaky Blinders. The actions unfold in the territory of Great Britain, and the main character is a quite young man named Tommy, who is a veteran. He leads a criminal group named the Peaky Blinders, along with his 3 brothers, referred to not only as the Blinders but also, for example, as Gypsies. It's worth noting that the well-known people have nothing in common with the latter name. In the series, this name is explained by the fact that the members of the criminal syndicate constantly wear flat caps, in the peak of which they hide sharp razor blades. However, as many say, this doesn't really align with reality. It's time to delve into the name and history of the Peaky Blinders. History. As of today, there are only 2 questions related to the gang that still remain debatable: whether it was only one gang, or if all people with direct connections to Birmingham's criminal life were considered Peaky Blinders. Expert Eric Munman stops at the second option and adds that gangs from this city were often called Brummies. At the same time, Philip Goodson, known as one of the creators of the Birmingham gang's work, has a slightly different point of view. He claims that initially, it was indeed just one gang, but over the next few years, the name shifted to other criminal elements, making it more universal. In the 20th century, the First World War began, after which the gang was barely noticeable and disappeared completely within a few years. However, its formation and heyday occurred in the 19th century, when it was one of the largest and most dangerous in the entire British territory. People from the working class began to join, of course, who started earning a living through robberies, racketeering, and other types of criminal activities. For a long time, the leader was a young man simply called Jambo, but he and his like-minded people couldn't withstand the pressure from another gang and faded into oblivion. Appearance. Representatives of the gang indeed stood out from all their colleagues as they looked quite stylish and well-groomed. The main attributes were, of course, those same flat caps, flared trousers, as well as neckerchiefs and jackets. Their significant others had to match the appearance of their partners, so they also stood out with a distinctive style. They could be seen wearing a large number of pearls and a silk neckerchief. Moreover, each of them grew bangs covering the entire. It is rumored that their relationships with gang members were far from ideal, as the guys could start pinching or even beating them at any time, with or without reason. Name? Even today, many argue about its origin, since at the moment, there is no evidence that could confirm the fact that criminals really sewed razor blades into the peaks of their caps. Historian David Cross leans towards this version, claiming that it was indeed practiced, but not as a designer solution, but to use the headgear as a weapon. On the other hand, another historian, Carl Chin, does not want to accept this point of view and considers it unrealistic. He says that the name came from the word peakies, which at that time referred to all caps with a low peak. David agrees with John Douglas, an extremely popular writer. In one of his works, he tells that for the representatives of this criminal syndicate, flat caps were not just headwear, but also a dangerous weapon that could easily blind the enemy and have an advantage in close combat. What do you think about that? Share your opinion in the comments and be sure to watch the video linked to now.